Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo, and today we're doing my favorite video to do every single month. This is the Plush That Sold on eBay. At the end of each month, I do try to do a video showing you guys every single plush that sold on the eBay platform. So this video will be all the plush that sold in November on eBay, and I did count them up. There's 37 total plush that sold in the month of November. So that's over one a day, which is pretty good. I'm pleased with that number. I'd like it to be more for Q4, but I will take what I can get because 2020 is just weird. I do have all 37 pulled up to show you. So let's just jump right on in and get started. The first guy you're looking at here is the Dakin Thomas Moose. Dakin is a good brand to look for. It's typically going to be higher end bread and butter for most of the plush that you're going to find in the Dakin line, but some of them are going to be Bolos or higher end or more money. Thomas the Moose sold for $14.99 and he shipped first class. Here's a Douglas Cuddle Toy Goat. This is another brand you want to keep your eyes out for. Douglas Cuddle Toys can be decent, mid to high-end bread and butter, and some of the characters, and depending on the size of the plush as well, can go for a lot more. There are some Douglas Cuddle Toys that can go for over $100. So I just keep my eyes out for them. I like bread and butter plush. I like having the volume, so I'll pick up any Dakin or Douglas Cuddle Toy I find. This goat sold for $13.99. And he shipped first class. Next up, we have a giraffe by Kelly Toy. Kelly Toy is an okay brand. It's pretty decent as far as bread and butter goes. Depending on the size of the plush and the animal is how much you're going to be able to get for Kelly Toys. Giraffes are pretty popular. In fact, if you watched Robert and I's unboxing of plush yesterday or Thursday, we did two videos back to back. Giraffes, elephants, and owls seem to be really popular animals. And Robert and I kind of talked on that. This giraffe's really big as well. He's 32 inches. So he's almost three feet tall or long. And so he sold for, I took a best offer on him of $28.79. And then they paid shipping in addition to that. So they paid to ship him. He did weigh over a pound on his own. So he went into a priority box and the buyer paid for that. Next up, we have a Build-A-Bear Pokemon Pikachu. So this plush has three things going for it. It's like the holy trifecta. Build-A-Bear, Pikachu, Pokemon. All of three are Bolos. This one talked, so when I went to comp it, it was being sold by a lot of turds for like $10 free ship, and I'm not going to let a talking Build-A-Bear Pikachu go for $10 free ship. So he did get listed pretty high. I expected to sit on him for a while I waited for the other ones to sell, but he sold overnight. So that goes to show you guys that there is perceived value and higher prices. If you have really good photos, really good keywords, and you're confident in what you have and its worth, you can get double sometimes of what everyone else has it listed for, and you're not always going to have to wait for the other ones to sell. This is just a Gans little guinea pig. I think I actually got him with the intent of keeping him because he's super cute, and I love rodents, as most of you know, as much as I love hippos. But I did end up listing him. I can't keep everybody. I can enjoy them until they find their new forever homes, though. So he did hang out with me on my desk until he sold. And he went for $8.43. He's just a tiny little 4-inch. And he shipped first class. Oh, I should tell you, too, the Pokemon, he did ship in a box because he talked. These higher end, more expensive plush, electronic plush, things like that, I will ship in boxes even if they're going first class. Next up, we have a Star Wars Stormtrooper plush Funko Galactic plushie. I picked him up because he's obviously a recognizable character from a very popular movie, and they have TV shows, books, cartoons. It's a whole franchise. Everyone knows what Star Wars is. Got him home, comped him. I was a little disappointed, but since we only had 50 cents in, it's fine. He sold on the best offer of $8, and he shipped first class. Then we have a Beanie Boo. This is Nestor the Owl. Beanie Boos are hit or miss. Some of them can be worth money, and some of them aren't. I just usually take the risk because, again, I don't mind filler. I don't mind bread and butter plush. He was also an owl, which I usually do well with owls. He sold for $7 on a best offer, shipped first class. And here's another Beanie Boo, and this one is an example of one that will sell for more money. This is a purple tag, and he is Rebel the Meerkat. He sold for $18.74. So you guys, when you find these Beanie Boos and the Beanie Buddies, if you're finding them for 50 cents, or less, or even up to $1, if you don't mind bread and butter in your store, you can go ahead and grab them all. Some of them will be like the owl here, and some will be like Rebel. If you don't like bread and butter or filler, you can always comp them at the time of sourcing before you purchase them. This is a DreamWorks troll. This is Guy Diamond from the kids movie. Again, a recognizable character from a popular movie for kids. I always like to pick any of those pop culture things up when I find them. This troll sold for $10.99 and shipped first class. This is a generic bear holding a heart with flowers on its feet. I'm pretty positive this came out of a bag of plush, one of those big bags you pay a couple bucks for at the thrift, and you just get a whole bunch of plush in there. Usually the really good ones out of those bags, once they sell, they pay for the bag, and then these little guys are just a little bit of extra profit on top of that. He sold for $8.99 and shipped first class. This is a vintage Hasbro My Little Pony Softie. So if you look at her tag, this is what you want to look for. It actually says Hasbro Softies on the tag. And these are vintage from the 80s and 90s. She had some stuff going on with her eyes there. And this one sold for $21.24, and she did ship first class. I did want to quickly teach you guys again about their cutie marks. So if you have a My Little Pony, whether it's one of the hard toys or a plush, if you don't know which My Little Pony you have, these little marks on their tushies, these are called their cutie marks. C-U-T-I-E. And you can Google My Little Pony cutie mark and then enter whatever your pony has. 3 dots, ice cream cone, rainbow, and it'll come up with the pony that you have. So it's a quick and easy way to find out which pony that you have. A lot of times these vintage ones, I can't remember who they are. I'm familiar with Rainbow Dash and Twilight Sparkle and like the more modern ones. These are the ones I played with as a kid. You'd think I could remember them, but I didn't. But when I looked her up, I'm like, oh yeah, I had some cotton candies. But yeah, that's a good way to find your My Little Ponies. And look for these Hasbro Softies because these are the vintage plush. This is another Beanie Baby I took a chance on. This is a Velvety. I'm going to show you the tag. Some of these Velveties are worth some money, so I usually just risk it. He sold for $10.99. This is Whopper the Elephant, and he shipped first class. Here's a Gans Webkinz. Gans Webkinz are the same thing. They're hit or miss. I've had Webkinz from Gans with sealed codes that sold for $8 and some without codes that sold for over $20. It just really depends on the animal, the saturation of that animal on eBay, its popularity and its size. Again, it's something I just take a risk on. I bring them all home, and sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised, and sometimes I just have some filler plush. This frog sold for $9.99, and he shipped first class. This is a squeezable cat that I did not technically source because he came in a mystery box. The last round of mystery boxes Robert and I opened together on YouTube in September, I believe it was. This is just one of the animals that came in the box. I paid for the lots, so I listed every single thing that came in them. I figured, why not? They've been paid for. It's filler. Obviously, I dug out the best stuff first and got that up and listed, and then did the poopy lower end ones next. All right, now we have a Zoom Zoom Disney Blue. I was super excited when I found this because it's Disney. It's a Zoom Zoom. It had its hang tag, really good condition. And it's Baloo, which is a harder character to find. I've had other Baloos from the Jungle Book that sold for a pretty good amount. But this little guy, kind of disappointed. He sold for $8.43, but he only cost 50 cents. So that's still a pretty good turnaround. And, I mean, he's so small. He didn't even weigh an ounce. So he did ship first class. Next up is Angry Bird Laser Plush. Any of the Angry Birds that aren't the regular red ones are going to do well. The red ones are okay, but they're really bread and butter and low end. The bomb birds do well. Any of them from Rio, the Star Wars. Any of them that aren't just that red one that everyone's used to. This one is supposed to have sound. Mine was broken, so I sold it for less than I would have had he worked. And he sold for $11.24. And he shipped first class. Next up, we have this Sunny Days Puffy Unicorn Head. Again, this is just something that came in those mystery boxes with that cat I just showed you. I listed everything. The unicorn sold for $9.37 and shipped first class. Here's Chipette Brittany. This is also a Build-A-Bear, so she's kind of got a couple things going for her. She's a recognizable character, although Alvin and the Chipmunks and the Chipettes aren't, you know, quite so popular right now as they used to be. They still have a pretty good following of people that do like them. Brittany probably should have an outfit, but she is naked, so I sold her for best offer of $15.15. Now, had she had her little outfit or any of the accessories like the microphones and stuff that some of the chipmunks come with, I probably would have listed her more towards $30. Here's a Family Christian Store lamb. So three things actually about this plush. One, if you see any of these Family Christian Stores plush, they're Bolo, grab them. People that are spiritual or religious do like these plushies for their children. They play lullabies that are religious songs. This lamb plays Jesus Loves Me, and he is musical, so that's also good. So he's a Bolo that he's a musical plush, and he's a religious plush, and Family Christian Stores is a good brand as far as that goes. Lambs are really popular, especially when they're meant for infants or babies. Lambs are really great. They're usually real soft and cute. So this guy definitely came home with me when I found him. He did sell for $23.43. Now I did ship him in a box because his wind-up, see if I can show you, his wind-up is a plastic turnkey, and I didn't want that to get ruined, so I did put him in a box, but he still was first class. Next up, we have the white mouse here. I've since been told, since he was in a What Sold on eBay weekly video, his name is Wapalooza. I'm still not familiar with who he is, but he went to a great forever home. Best offer, $6 because he'd been around for years. We've already gotten great feedback. They're really super happy with him and they like him. So he has definitely gone to a good home for him. Next up, we have a sock monkey. Sock monkeys are a Bolo in and of themselves. Animal Alley is a Bolo. It is a brand for Toys R Us, which is, you know, no longer in business. So any Animal Alleys you find, I've sold a couple of Animal Alley lambs and other animals for over $20. This sock monkey sold for $14.06, and he shipped first class. Next up, we have a Master Ball. This is from Pokemon. WCT is a pretty good brand. This came out of a mystery box. And I took a best offer on it of $10.12, shipped first class. These amazing squishies, I thought they were poop. They probably are poop. Like, I don't think I'd source them on purpose. But I got a ton of these amazing squishies in those mystery boxes Robert and I opened in September. They've been selling. So the fox here and the dog both sold for $8.74 a piece. They went to the same person and they shipped together, and they were still first class. This is a Build-A-Bear. Obviously, Build-A-Bear is a brand that everybody knows to look out for, especially these more unique animals that aren't like the regular oversaturated brown teddy bears. This is a big chocolate lab, and she has a baby. So it's pretty much two plushes in one. There's the baby and the mom. So cute. The baby attaches to the mom and she carries it. So this sold for $26.24, and it did ship first class. Surprising. I thought it was going to weigh a pound, but it didn't. I weighed it and it was under a pound, so it did get to ship in a poly bag first class. Next up, we have Cow Lovey by the brand Little Giraffe. Loveys are going to be security blankets that are small squares. They're not quite like full-length usable blankets. They're just little pieces. They're usually 12 by 12 or 15 by 15, and they always have some kind of plush doll or animal head in the middle. Sometimes it's the whole animal, but typically it's just the head like this. And they're called Loveys, and you want to definitely use that in your keywords in your title. That's what folks look for when they're looking for these. You can use security blanket, infant, baby, soother. There's a lot of really great keywords you can toss in on these. These are a Bolo. I have sold Walmart brand used Loveys for $12, and I've sold the more expensive baby brands for $40 and $50, and some that are recognizable pop culture characters and things like that. So you guys always want to grab up these Loveys. I love Loveys. This one had damage even. It had a little tear, and it still sold for $16.16 on a best offer, shipped first class. Next up, we have a Mary Meyer Moose. This is a newer Mary Meyer. The older Mary Meyers have a different tag, and they're some of the vintage ones can go for a lot of money. The newer ones are kind of just bread and butter. I just picked him up because he was a cute moose, and he was like 50 cents, so maybe he was 99 cents. He sold for $8.74, shipped first class. Here's another example of a tie plush that you can do well with. These are the Tie Classic collection, and they'll say that inside their hang tag if they still have it. It just says the Classic collection. This is Shaggy the Bear. He sold for $15.99, and he shipped first class. Here's another Beanie Baby I took a risk on. It's another owl. This one's name is Juliet. She's got a pink heart. She's super cute. Glitter eyes. She sold for $8.99, and she shipped first class. Then we have one of these Gund Millennium Wish Bears. So I have several of these. I got 4 of them together one year at a yard sale at $1 a piece, and I brought one home recently from the Goodwill for $1.99. Some of the ones I had knit sweaters that actually had damage in them, and they still sold for $20 or more. They all have their years on their feet, and they're different. This is the Wish Bear. There's like a Love Bear. But they're going to say Gund Millennium Bears, and they all have like sweaters or hoodies on, which makes them recognizable. They'll have a tag that you can see there, and this on their foot. I would say if you see these for $1 or $2, they are definitely a Bolo. This one sold for $20.99 plus shipping. So they paid for priority shipping for this bear in addition to $21. They are slow. You're waiting for the exact right buyer looking for this exact bear, but they will sell, and they sell for over, $20 to $25, and they'll usually, you can put calculated shipping on in addition to that. He shipped in a priority box. Next up, we have a Dandy Dancer. Dandy is one of those brands that it's either a absolute Bolo worth lots of money, or it's just going to be bread and butter. Used to be a Kmart brand, and I pick up all Dandy. I just consider it one of those brands that I'm always going to pick up when I find it. This is a Christmas deer, and I took a best offer on him of $10.12, and I keep saying he, but she's wearing a tutu, isn't she? And the deer shipped first class. Here we have a strawberry. This has no brand. It is absolutely 1000% generic, but it is unique and it is different. I had never seen a strawberry plush like this. So even though it had no brand and was completely generic, I decided to risk it at 50 cents. And it sold pretty quickly within a couple months. That's fast for plush. Sold for $13.12, shipped first class. A Hallmark talking monster. Obviously, I picked it up because it was Hallmark and it talked. Brought it home. It's oversaturated. It didn't comp for as much as I had hoped. Sold it for $10.69, and it shipped first class in a box because it does talk. Here's another Dandy. This is a bunny. I will say that within the Dandy line, the plush that I do the best with are the bunnies. The Dandy bunnies always do well for me. I get more money for them usually than the other animals. And the big ones, like the really big Easter bunnies, you can get more than $20 for. This is just a tiny 6-inch bunny, and he sold for $14.99. So always grab the bunnies from Dandy. If you don't grab anything else from Dandy, the bunnies do really well. And you can use keywords like Easter and spring, and that will help you sell them. Here's a Hallmark Itty Bitty. This is Bugs Bunny. And again, a Hallmark brand plush, so of course I grabbed it. I've had a lot of these in the past. I've had Tweety Bird, I've had Harley Quinn, I've had Yoda. I think it depends on the character on how well it's going to do. Bugs hair sold for $9.63. And in contrast, here's a Yoda. This is also a Hallmark Itty Bitty, but because it's Yoda from Star Wars, who's a more popular character, Yoda sold for $14.99 versus the $9.63 for Bugs. So these are something I would still probably pick up and take a risk on. Maybe focus more on the more popular characters like Yoda here. Both of them are very, very small. That's why they're called Itty Bitties. And they shipped first class. And then last but not least, we have a Kelly Toy Unicorn Pegasus. So again, Kelly Toy is an okay brand. They do a lot of bread and butter type plushes. And they do a lot of like the fantasy mystical characters like unicorns and dragons and things. You guys, unicorns, dragons, mermaids, all of those kind of fantasy characters or animals are definitely Bolos. People love them, even generic brands, even low-end brands. Anytime I see any of those fantasy characters or animals, I always snatch them up. This Kelly Toy Unicorn sold for $14.06. Super cute. She was fat too. I thought she was so cute because she was kind of a chubber. And I also wanted to point out to you the difference between a unicorn and a Pegasus, in case you didn't know. Unicorn is a horse with a horn. A Pegasus is a horse with wings. And if they have both, they are an alicorn. And I actually learned that from My Little Pony. I highlighted the word there so you can see it. It's ALICORN. So if it has both wings and a horn, it is an alicorn, but you can also still use the keywords Pegasus and unicorn, and you probably want to use all three to help you sell it faster. So that is all of the plush that sold on the eBay platform in the month of November 2020. And I thought we did pretty well. I was pretty pleased with our sell-through rate for the month. I had hoped that it would be more, but seeing as how Q4 has been so far, this is pretty good. I will take it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and help us feed a hungry hippo. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. It's called Flippin Hippos Reseller Pod. You can search for that right on Facebook or use the link provided in the box below. Until next time, guys, go be productive, go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.